Hello, and welcome back to Doomed, solo playthroughs through Arkham Horror, the card game with a focus on roleplay and storytelling. Yes, I decided to start a couple of minutes early. Some of the usual suspects are already here. I make it sound like some sort of Cluedo murder mystery situation. Welcome to Doomed! It's been far too long, that's right. Classic. What do I have to say? If you're watching this on the VOD, thank you. I keep getting comments from people just popping in being like, rules adjudication, or like, this is cool, or whatever. So thank you. There's obviously a timestamp in the description, as you probably know, to where I'm actually going to jump into the scenario. I'll try to mark the beginning of the prelude and the beginning of the scenario. Prepare, Rio. As always, we'll do a little recap of the story so far, and then we're going to dive in. Today, it's Alessandra Zorzi approaching the Feast of Hemlock Vale. Tonight is the second evening. Ooh, out of 3. Just in case you were worried. Dawn of the second night. 36 hours remain, or whatever it is. What else do I have to say? Of course, as always, let me know if music, sound, etc. is good. For the... whatever works. Blah. So, I should also say there are some very exciting things in the works for Doomed coming up. Obviously, given my pace of getting through this campaign, it's going to be ages before we're doing something other than Alessandra Zorzi in the Feast of Hemlock Vale. But we have some fan campaign Twomed on the horizon, i.e. some like non-official campaigns, but ones that are well received, well reviewed, look awesome, coming on Twomed. We have a new guest for Twomed on a standalone scenario at some point in the near future as well. And in terms of solo, I don't know what I'm going to do solo in terms of like a full campaign, because I'm now caught up to the release order. However, just for you, Flower, just for you, I wanted to do something involving frost tokens. Technically, only Edge of the Earth involves frost tokens. They came in that box, that's all they're for, etc. So I said, we should probably throw them into some sort of Arctic-themed thing. This is a ways off, Flower, but the plan is thus. There is a standalone scenario, maybe 2, that I'm going to tackle solo, having never looked at them before, but they're set in the Arctic. And I'm even going to do, and I am committing to this now, I'm even going to do a deck building stream. Because I was like, oh, I want to I want to build a themed deck for this. I'm just trying not to spoil what it is, but like for this scenario, I want to take these cards because they're very thematic. And then I was like, okay, well, who can take these cards? And then it presented this deck building puzzle, and I was like, let's just do that on stream. So I've given up thinking about it for now, but I will get back to it later. And we're very excited about that. The story so far, Alessandra Zorzi, as we all know, she moonlights as a countess. I mean, she pretends to be a countess. She's a socialite. But in fact, it's just a cover story for her as a criminal mastermind, a thief, a cat burglar, whatever you want to call her. She is in Arkham at the behest of a criminal underworld leader named Zamacona, mysterious figure, who asked her to rob some old stuffy mansion. She did. She took an additional relic just for herself because she thought the silver moth looked pretty. While she was in Arkham, she was also voluntold by everyone's favorite professor, Dr. Henry Armitage, to go off to be the face of a scientific expedition to Hemlock Vale. So she is currently in or on Hemlock Isle, I guess, with Dr. Rosa Marquez, Bertie Musgrave, and they're studying the strange mutated flora and fauna that is there. I mean, I don't think so, Flower. This is like 80 years pre-Google as well. I mean, maybe we should probably do that. The long, cold night. Ooh, I like, Crosshair, I like the notion of, like, there's a very interesting mechanic there where all the outside locations have windows, and some of them are randomly broken, but then some of them can be broken, either by enemies or by extra, like, effects. And if there's a broken window at a location, it's cold, and you get, like, I don't know, -1 health, or you take a damage if you end your turn there, or if you start your turn there, you're freezing and you have to move to warmth, but you can carry a candle, whatever, I don't know, stuff like that. I feel like there's a very cool, I mean, at that point, it's just the Kona game that Polly's played. Exactly. This is very cool. On Hemlock Isle, I'll give you the quick and dirty version. There is definitely a cult here, led by one Mother Rachel. Alessandra Zorzi's got her number immediately. She is trying to make friends with the people that she thinks can best create a distraction when she needs to extract herself. Oh, Dead of Winter in the Arkham universe would be fabu. So, what's happened so far? Zorzi's rescued the local troublemaker, Simon Atwood, nephew of Mother Rachel, from a mine. There was a minecart, adventure in there. They rescued Bertie Musgrave from the forest where he had wandered off to be, mauled by a giant, horrible bear monster thing. And then on the second day, so this morning, essentially, they went up north to the Atwan? That doesn't sound right. Something? I'm actually just going to check because I am looking at it, but you guys are not. Aquan. To the Aquan shoreline, where they reunited Pisters. Oscar Pistorius. Theo Peters with his sister and his younger sister, whom they managed to rescue from a giant mutated crab thing. Lots of horrible mutated flora and fauna here. The key seems to be this strange fungus that seems to be creeping across the island. Alessandra Zorzi has the power of speech. She can speak to and convince or beguile almost anything. Very cool stuff. And that brings us to the end of that. They managed to do some excellent rescuing, and we're back here with the second evening. Now, there is a prelude, and then we'll be going straight into a scenario for the second evening. However, as has been pointed out to me, and as I always forget, because I used to never do this on Doomed, before you do intro and so on and so forth, you have to do your opening hand. So I'm going to do that. Whoops, I can just do this. Do I have anything else to say? I think that's where we're at, guys. That's the scenario. We have 2 physical trauma. I got 7 XP from the prelude and the scenario last time. I spent it on some good stuff upgrades. The first thing we have to do is choose our 3 different trick cards to attach to Bewitching. Of course, Beguile is going to be one of them. Here are all my trick cards. The only other... I don't actually have any multiples of any of the others, unfortunately. I think Stir the Pot was very valuable, and I think Snitch is really strong. But I don't know if we want it. I don't think we want it. I think we want Vamp and Stir the Pot. I think we want things that will actually help us defeat enemies. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so we're going to draw our opening hand, and then we're going to get into the scenarios. This is the part where I usually say, let's get doomed. Pow! Okay, that's a weakness. We put that back right away. We like Fox Mask as a nice little asset to start. We don't really love the rest of this. Drain Essence is a cool spell where you parley, you choose an enemy, you test willpower. You can move 2 damage from you to them if the chosen enemy is non-elite. And I start with 2 physical trauma. That said, I just don't think there's going to be any enemies here, so I'm going to go... We're optimizing for the prelude because we don't know what the scenario is going to be. Oops, and I forgot to put on the draw 1 button. There we go. So we're going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh! 2 easy marks and a gun. Everyone's favorite. Easy mark is one of the things I took. I love this. The art here is very evocative to me. I'm not quite sure what the story is, but I love... There's just someone here being like, wow, what an interesting musty old tome. And then there's 3 cultists coming in being like, yeah, oh, I'm going to get you. Gain 2 resources, draw a card. Reactions, you may choose. After you play Easy Mark, play another Easy Mark at no cost. I start with 2. So that's 2 of them already. Yes, and thank you, Flower. Love it. Okay, let us dive into... yes. Yeah, so you play... Yes, correct, Crosshair. That's a good shout. So you play Easy Mark, you resolve Easy Mark, and then after you play Easy Mark, you can play another. So, yes, ideally the goal is you play one into another one, and then you can just play. Someone tried to build a deck where you just only have 3 Easy Marks in your deck, and you just rotate them forever. But, like, I mean, one, that's a bit silly, and two, like you have to take a horror every time you shuffle. You like rotate your deck. So what's the point? I mean, the point is to theorycraft. Okay, I think we're just diving in, right? Our friends, is it plus? I think it's plus, eh? To go up? Yeah. I think our friend Alessandra Zorzi, I feel like, you know, she's injured from her big bear attack. She's injured, she's suffering from not having eaten, but she doesn't trust anybody here. We are on a deadline, so to speak, Crosshair. I'm going to say about 2.5 hours. Or so. So we're going to get through the prelude here. I'm not going to yammer on too much, because I want to get into whatever is happening here. So the second day was visiting the Aquan shoreline, reuniting Theo Peters with his sister, and, whose name I forgot, Helen, I think, and his younger sister, Elizabeth, maybe, who was kidnapped or ran away and then had her dog eaten by a horrible big monster. Hi, Agatha Skulls. It's been a long time. How are you? Welcome to Doomed. Wonderful to have you with us. Wendy can go, with her amulet, can go infinite resources with 3 easy marks. Yeah. So her amulet says when you play an event, you may instead put it on the, instead of discarding it, you put it on the bottom of your deck. And then, right, and then you just continue to draw. Of course! Because your deck is never empty, so you never have to reshuffle. Very good, Agatha. I like that. Isn't that it? Yeah. I've been playing this game for a long time, and yet I still get a little tickled pink when things like this happen. All right. Am I over-rolling anything? No. Okay. Prelude, the second evening. Is it weird that I'm kind of hovering over the edge of my... Hang on, I'm just going to fix that. There we go. See, now it doesn't look like I'm just a floating body, because I'm definitely not. The second evening. The rain continues through the day. When you arrive at the Commons for dinner, the tables have been pushed to the sides of the room and warm lamps are hung from colorful ribbons. Dozens of new faces peer out from the crowd of cloaked locals, visitors from the mainland. A large sculpture looms in the center of the room, festooned with violet and white blossoms that seem to palpitate in the soft light. The room goes silent as Mother Rachel addresses the assembly. Friends, brethren, each of you is a miracle of time and light. You are the promise of your true self. The matron stops mid-sentence. Check your campaign log. If Simon survived is recorded in Simon Atwood's notes, she doesn't get the level 3 version flower. She could take the level 0 version, for what it's worth. Or the survivor. Yeah. The Hard Knocks is quite good. It boosts combat and agility. Or Dig Deep, which boosts willpower and agility, which Wendy actually likes. Sorry. If Simon survived is recorded in Simon Atwood notes, proceed to the second evening too. I'm not even going to check. I know it is, because we've been not romancing him, beguiling him. A shadow passes over the matron's face as she sways, looking for a moment as though she might faint. The air in the room swirls thickly. Oily patterns dance in the light as you feel a now familiar lightheadedness. Someone steps forward to help Mother Rachel, but she holds up one hand and steadies herself. Why is Simon surviving linked to oily patterns dancing in the light? What is he... He's setting up fireworks in the Vale, but, like, what has he done, I wonder? Yeah, that is correct, Crosshair. The rules for games like these, and I know this from Netrunner specifically, although I think it's explicitly stated in Arkham as well. You're right. You say, okay, if you enter a game state where you're infinite, you essentially just say, I want to resolve it this many times. You resolve it that many times, and then you stop. Because otherwise, what's the point? The second evening 4. Mother Rachel regains her composure. Tonight is the shortest night of the year, and tomorrow is the beginning of eternity. So on this night, let us dance. The assembly bursts into rapturous applause. A ragtag band in the corner starts playing as the dance begins. Several friendly faces beckon you to join. You may choose whom you would like to dance with. One at a time, each investigator may choose a different codex entry from the following. If there is only one investigator, you may choose 2 to resolve instead. If a resident's name is crossed out, you cannot choose their codex. After you've read the appropriate number of sections, proceed to resolution 1. So, I'm just going to read through names here. I know at least one person. I get 2 choices, and there's at least one person I will, of course, try to speak to, because they've hatched a plan in all of this. Mother Rachel, Leia, Simon, William Hemlock, River, tearing it up on the dance floor, Gideon, Judith, Theo, dance by yourself. A woman in hunting clothes stands at the edge of the room, and Doctor Marquez eyes you from across the room. Okay, we're definitely talking to Simon, so we're going to go see what Simon says. Haha. Simon Atwood. If Simon Atwood is at relationship level 3 or higher. I think that's correct, so I'm just going to go and check. Boop. We have level 1 relationships with a few people, level 2 relationships with Theo, Gideon, Leia, and a level 4 relationship with Simon Atwood. Get ready for the Texas Tommy! Ugh. Simon waves his hands overhead as the band picks up tempo. Not bad, not bad! You feel something cold and slick creep up your leg. He smiles mischievously as you extract the garter snake from around your ankle. What is wrong with this guy? In Simon Atwood's notes record, Simon shared a dance. I will. So he danced with us specifically so he could put a snake up our leg, which sounds like a euphemism. But I think is actually meant to be like, wow, what a troublemaker. It's weird. Okay, so we have one more choice. It feels like relationship 3 or higher is not going to happen for anyone. So the question is, do we dance by ourselves? Do we go and see the woman in hunting clothes, right? Alessandra Zorzi is all about making connections, beguiling people, getting people on her side, and getting them to do what she wants. She can dance by herself and attract attention. But, like, Doctor Marquez is there. Obviously, we would go and see someone like Judith or River. Or Theo. But we don't, apparently, have enough relationship with them, even though we've saved their sister! Let's go and see the woman in hunting clothes. Oops, sorry. Oh! It's Helen Peters! Okay, check your campaign log. If Helen joined the survey. I don't think so. Mother Rachel showed the way, Bertie was rescued, the bear was wounded, and the Peters family was reunited. So no. Oh, if the Peters family was reunited. Helen Peters stands at the entrance to the Commons, looking rather out of place in her rugged attire. Lizzie stands nearby, staring out at the dance floor. When you ask Helen to dance, she smiles wryly and shakes her head. I just came to thank you, and to ask for something. You ask her what, and she smiles warmly. Let me help the survey. Lizzie will be safe in Portland. Oregon? Portland, Oregon? Okay, maybe you and I can convince my brother to leave. In your campaign log, record, Helen Peters joined the survey. Any one investigator may choose to add the Helen Peters story asset to their deck. Ooh, I think we like that. Okay, Helen Peters joined the survey, and we get to add her to our deck, which we definitely, I mean, let's go look at her, but I think we want to. Our good friend, Alessandra, is all about collecting people around her that can be useful. I think that's correct. I think that's correct. Let's have a look. Oh, okay, so yeah, it's the same asset from the story. Helen Peters is a 3-cost ally asset, a hunter. She has willpower, combat, and wild icons. Pretty good icons generally anyway. She takes up the ally slot, 3 health, 2 sanity. Change is inevitable. The question is how we weather it. She also seems to be wearing a medallion of Salune for those people who are playing Hades 2. During the day, you get +1 combat. At night, you get +1 agility. Strong. It's a nice variable stat boost. We don't really care about the combat, but it's not bad. After you enter a location, exhaust Helen Peters, deal a damage to her, choose a non-elite enemy at your location, and automatically evade it. Also huge. So, Helen Peters has joined the survey. Alessandra is absolutely chuffed with this development. Now, I will say, though, she is clearly here to try to persuade Theo to get the hell out of Hemlock Vale. Will she succeed? I don't know. Alessandra cares about people, but probably would probably prefer for people to stay behind and help her escape. I think it said proceed to resolution 1, yeah. Midway into the evening, the dance reaches a lull. While rain patters, yeah, exactly, Flower, exactly. While rain patters outside, the dancing revelers move like smoke in the dim commons. Dr. Marquez signals you to join her at the side of the room. There's something very wrong here, she says in a low voice. No shit. There are maybe a dozen members of the Vale who have disappeared, some even in the last few days. Mother Rachel seems blissfully unconcerned. And then there are these wonders everyone talks about. I'm starting to suspect the wondrous feeling here isn't just hypoxia. You mention your own dizziness and strange euphoria over the past few days. Check your campaign log if Madame Pearl's diary was recovered. Nope, don't know who that is. Skip to Resolution 3. Resolution 3. You share your own observations of Hemlock Isle. More than just wonders, the creatures here are either sickly and malnourished or aggressively vivacious. Alessandra, of course, is no biologist or, frankly, even scientist, but she's theorizing that something to do with this fungus has infected the fauna of the island and is causing them to seek out. It's like elevating their cortisol levels, maybe? Something like that. Dr. Marquez nods along. Everything is affected. Sickly, starving, mutating. It's all highly localized. There are no reports of these strange phenomena elsewhere. It's only here. She produces a creased map of the island and points to the North Hills. Pearl Ridge hasn't recovered in the past 20 years since it was obliterated. Yeah, fair, Flower. Marquez holds up 2 rings of glassy wood from both Eastwick Bog and Pearl Orchard, neither of which we've been to, then draws a ring around Pearl Ridge on her map. The bitter eggs this morning reminded me of a report after the Tunguska event. A meteorite obliterated miles of Russian countryside, but the effects on the locals were even more devastating. Stores of food were poisoned. Livestock perished. Nearby villages were slowly deserted as families who lived there for generations died of starvation or worse. She draws a larger concentric circle around the first. Nobody said anything about a meteor, but judging by the massive sinkhole in front of the Pearl Estate, something emerged from the rock. My working theory is that the mining operation opened a vein and released whatever poisoned gas or mineral is affecting the island. Okay. Interesting. So we're thinking maybe a meteorite fell on Pearl Ridge. Okay. Again, Alessandra's like, uh-oh, that sounds bad, but I don't really know what you're talking about. Dr. Marquez's expression goes grave. There's something else. Something we shouldn't discuss here. Follow me. As you follow the professor out of the commons, a stout figure bumps into you. If Bertie was rescued, proceed to Resolution 4.
Terribly sorry, Bertie says. Professor, and you, I assumed you had retired early.
His eyes go wide. Are we conspiring? Surveying? I would love to... Dr. Marquez cuts him off with a sharp glance. After last night, Bertie, I think it's best if you stay in your room tonight and rest. The young assistant looks quite wounded, but doesn't object.
Very well, then,
he mutters. Exactly, Flower. Resolution 6. The Blob. We didn't need to involve him. He's much better in a lab than in the field anyway. Dr. Marquez leads you outside. Something followed me down from the ridge today. Something big. Hungry. I tried to take shelter at the old Atwood farm, but it was boarded up. Windows and doors. It smelled something awful. I'm not even sure what I heard coming from inside. She says soberly. When you ask her to explain, she shakes her head. This place definitely isn't what it seems. I don't know what the Vale folks are hiding in that old farmhouse, but I plan to find out. Sheesh. Each investigator earns the bonus experience awarded during the prelude. Okay, I did not receive any. Record each bonus experience earned. Do not spend any of it until the end of the next scenario. Fine. The investigators must decide. Follow Dr. Marquez's lead out to Atwood Farm. What is the Vale hiding? Or gather more information on Hemlock Isle's unique ecosystem at night. Choose the area surveyed, choose a scenario. if you do add a tablet, a skull, and an elder thing. Your nickname was the Blob Weirdness. Crosshair, I promise you, day 3 during the day, we are going to the house. I cannot. Oh my god, I don't know. I don't think I can justify Alessandra striking off on her own, adding the bad stuff to the bag. Oh my god. And then, yeah. Because we still have day 3, right? And we're presumably going to have a chance to do another scenario. Oh god. Follow Dr. Marquez's lead out to the Atwood farm. What is the veil hiding? So the Atwood farm, of course, was probably Leia Atwood's farm, where Simon also lives. Maybe Alessandra doesn't want to disrupt Simon's plans, so maybe she can keep Dr. Marquez away from whatever Simon is planning. I'm justifying doing it. But yeah, no, Crosshair, I'm not even gonna, just so you know, for day 3, I'm not even gonna ask the chat. We're doing the haunted house. it's how it has to be. Let's proceed to the longest night on page 46. Whoops. Okay. I'm also gonna do this. Boop. Bong. Oh god. Okay. I'm not gonna look too hard at it. Oh, is it night 2? Excellent. Gosh darn bless this wonderful mod. The longest night. As you approach Atwood Farm, the clouds bong. Yeah, what the hell? Damn it. Okay, I'll just have to give you it. I'll give you another one later when you least expect it. As you approach, you guys can't read that, can you? As you approach Atwood Farm, the clouds recede to reveal a blood-red sunset that casts the landscape in hazy shadows. You follow Dr. Marquez past a neglected coop and barn to the back porch of the derelict farmhouse. As the professor jams a crowbar under a boarded window, you notice the revolver in her back pocket. Just some insurance, she says. And at this moment, Alessandra Zorzi realizes, oh shit, I should have been on Team Marquez this whole time. She's got a crowbar and a revolver? This lady knows. This lady sciences. It takes some time to pry the boards off the windows. As you climb in after the professor, your senses sting with the scent of rot and sick. Once your eyes adjust to the murk, you see a harrowing scene. Dirty cots line the walls, and the floor is streaked with refuse. Oh god, a dozen sickly people lay on cots and sit slumped against the walls. Their skin is knotted and hard, riddled with sharp spurs and sinewy growths. Several of them have limp flaps of loose flesh that you soon realize are vestigial limbs. Others look up at you with glassy eyes, while others with gray, powdery skin lay inert, staring up at the ceiling. Oh, good lord. This is terrible news. So, it would appear that all of the sort of kidnapped or missing people have been... Well, the ones that are kidnapped or missing, it's because they've been infected by whatever strange happening is going on the island. And they've all been brought here to this barn, boarded up, left to die, probably. You shouldn't be here, says a voice. A balding man in a tattered veil cloak steps towards you with a halting gait. Dr. Marquez squints in the dim. Tad? From the general store? Before he can answer, you hear voices from the front porch. You and Dr. Marquez dash behind a pile of broken furniture just as the front door clicks and swings open. Mother Rachel enters alongside a half-dozen cloaked figures and several more sickly locals. The matron addresses the room, beaming. My star children, your time has come at last. You will prepare the way. She leans down and holds a wheelchair-bound woman's hand. All of you have been made whole, and now you will join your other selves in eternity. The investigators must decide, confront Mother Rachel or keep hidden. Alessandra Zorzi knows the benefit of learning as much as possible before springing a trap. She also knows that Simon has a plan underway in the Vale. If they were to confront Mother Rachel now, yes, they both have weapons, but there's a half-dozen people here. the likelihood is that they're not going to be able to take her down. They want to be able to get to her when they can, if indeed they ever get the chance. We're going to keep hidden and skip to intro 3. You wait in silence as a fetid breeze stirs the heavy air. Tad saunters forward to address Mother Rachel.
The witnesses are here.
He gestures to your hiding place. Oh, shit. Oh, damn it. My bad. In moments, you and the professor are dragged roughly out into the open. Rip. Yeah. Add a skull token to the chaos bag for the remainder of the campaign. Proceed to intro 4. Okay. Well, skulls are mitigated by the Cornhusk doll. That's not bad. Intro 4. Mother Rachel smiles benevolently.
My children, there are some things we are not meant to see until it is our time to see them. But then, I suppose, it is your place to witness our ascension.
She holds her arms out in an exultant pose.
Each of us accepts our place in creation. We have been remade beyond the concerns of conventional medicine. I understand it may seem foolish, even cruel to an outsider, but each of us here of our own volition. Even you.
The room nods along in agreement. Yikes.
You're being deceived! Can't you see?
Dr. Marquez says, furious. These people are dying! You search the room, hoping for some support. Check your campaign log. For each resident who shared a dance. That's one of them. One resident shared a dance. So we're going to intro 6. Oh no. If this gets Simon killed, I'm going to be very, very upset. A single figure steps out from behind Mother Rachel and comes to your side. It is the friend, Simon, you danced with just hours ago. Mother Rachel regards him bitterly.
So be it then. We are the wheat, and you are the chaff.
Uh-oh. Add a cultist and an elder thing to the chaos bag for the remainder of the campaign. So I imagine, Crosshair, you're probably laughing up a storm out there right now because, of course, doing one of the other scenarios would have basically added all of the same tokens anyway. I think it was a skull, a tablet, and an elder thing. Like, it was all the bad stuff tokens. We've added a cultist, which are generally okay, I think. Skip to intro 8. Mother Rachel's eyes are glassy with tears as she addresses the room.
Your sacrifice is not in vain. Tonight, you each will fulfill your place in creation and join us tomorrow for the great ascension.
The matron wears a careworn smile as she addresses you.
This is not your sacrifice to make. Please, return to the veil.
Dr. Marquez glowers in response. Mother Rachel's eyes well with tears as she leaves her with her procession. What does she mean by fulfill your place in creation? Dr. Marquez asks Tad as he rubs scaly growths from his forearms. Yikes. The balding man smiles.
Tomorrow, the blood moon heralds our ascension. But tonight, on the shortest night of the year, all the creatures of the forest and fields will help us complete our journey.
I'm sorry, but that doesn't answer my question, the professor replies. Tad grins.
We'll all be devoured. It's our place to make this sacrifice.
As he looks to the horizon, Jesus H. Okay, all right. As he looks to the horizon, a chorus of mournful howls echoes across the fields. Oh, God. The professor looks at Tad, horrified. Like hell you will, she says. Get it, Marquez. You follow her outside. Dark shapes stand outlined on distant hills. The professor is briefly lost in thought, then takes a sharp breath. I doubt any of them are in their right mind, but maybe if we hold out long enough, we can get them proper care and attention. You look past the farmhouse to the rolling hills. Oh, it's going to be like a tower defense scenario. Oh, hell yeah. You don't have time to evacuate the captives before sunset. Moreover, you don't have any guarantee they'll follow you, but you have to try. I'm not saying I called the townsfolk being the feast snackos, you know? Called it, nailed it. You have to try. Together, you and the professor scavenge the collapsing farm for spare parts. You find, bet you wish you'd brought Birdie now. Extra set of hands. You find scraps of wood, barbed wire, and old trapping equipment to fortify your position. If you can outlast the night, some of the captives might be saved. Let's go. A hideous baying breaks the still air as the sun sets. The shortest night of the year may yet become the longest. Proceed to setup. Okay, gather all the cards together from the following sets, blah, blah, blah. Fine. This is all done for us here. Night 2. Don't lose heart. Let's have a quick look at Night 2, shall we? Night 2, in which we remember our place in the cosmos. Bugsnax was not supposed to be an inspiration! Okay. I think so, Flower, yeah. Randomly remove one outer field's location from the game. Okay. Outer fields... there's 5. Okay, so I will remove one from the game. Done. Put each... Oh, Cthulhu! Hello, welcome to Doomed. Indeed, welcome to the second evening. I don't want to spoil anything. We are doing the sort of... Well, we're doing a scenario called The Longest Night. And of course, I don't want to spoil anything for you, so I'll just say hello and welcome. It's wonderful to see you here. Yeah, I'm really jazzed about this. I'm trying not to do too much spoiling here. Alessandra Zorzi, this is not a sort of common scenario for her, but it would appear that she's going to try to save some people. In her mind, again, maybe sow enough chaos, escape if you need to. Put each remaining location into play as shown in the location placement diagram on page 48. Oh my. What the F? Okay, so we've got two... Oh, the scan here is actually really bad. I can't actually tell what these are. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay, so the... We'll see you there. That's really unfortunate. I see that those are all marked farm. That's called the farmhouse. Outer fields, outer fields. That's another farm to the west. Outer fields, outer fields. I'm sure that's what it is. So, that's the farmhouse. We do this, and we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we do the outer fields outside of those. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Put the captive story asset into play at the farmhouse. We begin play at a location of their choice. Why on earth? Why on earth? What? A location of their... I don't even know what this is. I'm gonna be honest though, guys. I think I want to begin at a farm that isn't the farmhouse. I'm gonna read the captives maybe now. And I'm going to start play here at this Atwood Farm location, just cuz. I feel like Alessandra's out in the fields. Let's have a look at the captives, eh? Yeah, good question, Flower. Let's look at all our locations first. The farmhouse. The aspect of the whole farm was shocking. Grayish withered grass and leaves on the ground, vines falling in brittle wreckage from archaic walls and gables. This is a sanctum location. It cannot have player card attachments, traps, or decoys. Okay. The captives are here. They are innocent, mutated. It's a null cost asset with 10 health. It's pretty good. During the enemy phase, oh boy. During the enemy phase, each ready, unengaged enemy at the farmhouse attacks as though it were engaged with the captives. Horror dealt to the captives in this way is dealt as damage instead. Okay. So enemies that get to the farmhouse will, if they are unengaged, so if I engage them, they attack me, they don't attack the captives. But if they are unengaged, they will attack the captives and they'll deal damage and horror. Atwood Farm. The old farm is riddled with scraps, desiccated livestock, rotten feed, and rusting farming equipment. It's not going to be helpful. And then the outer fields. All the verdure was going gray and was developing a highly singular quality of brittleness. I didn't realize that there was some sort of poison thing going on here. Like, I realized there was like mutations, but I didn't realize it was also destroying sort of certain kinds of flora. To build the enemy deck. Oh no. Okay. Gather the 15 red-backed enemy cards. Put the Ursine hybrid enemy into play at the west outer fields location. Okay. Is it here? Yep. You boy. We are. This is, of course, the Ursine hybrid. We've seen this before. It's 5/6/3. It's a hunter with massive and retaliate. It preys on me. It actually has +3 health, so in fact it's a 5/9/3. It ignores barriers and decoys. While this enemy is moving, each field location is considered connected to one another, so it can move on the outside ring, as well as in towards me. It does 3 damage and 2 horror. So this is a priority numero uno, I would say. Okay. Shuffle the remaining enemy cards to build the enemy deck. Place it next to the agenda deck. This is the first time that I've seen a card back in Arkham that is this color, and I think that is badass. The War of the Outer Gods it's a standalone. It has red, green, and blue enemies, so maybe they do that there too. I don't know. While this enemy is moving, field locations are considered connected to one another. Yeah, to be fair though, Flower, the Atwood Farms, the inner ring, are not field locations, they are farms. But if I were to go here, say, it could just jump over to the outer fields. But like, if I was here, it would jump here because that's closest, and then in towards me, yeah. So I think that's gonna be a big priority, is dealing with this bad boy. Check the campaign log. If the bear was wounded, deal 2 damage to the Ursine hybrid and exhaust it. I will definitely take that. Okay, so because we focused on trying to manage destroying it back in that wild-ass first evening, yesterday, I mean, it's got 2 damage, so it's only got 7 health remaining, and it enters play exhausted. So it won't hunt, I guess, in the enemy phase. That's pretty good. So I'll have a bit more time. Prepare your defenses. Regardless of their starting position, what the F? Investigators choose, as a group, to place a total of 1 decoy, 1 trap, and 1 barrier, divided as they want among any number of locations. Put the barriers, traps, and decoy token reference card next to the scenario reference card, and see barriers, decoys, and traps. Okay, so we get to choose 1 decoy, 1 trap, and 1 barrier. And then we should go and look at what those things do, because I don't know. Barriers, decoys, and traps. Enemies that ignore a token's effects do not trigger its forced abilities. Fine, so like the Ursine hybrid, I think, ignores barriers and decoys. Sounds about right. Let's have a look. A barrier. When an enemy would move via a keyword, like say hunter, and 1 or more barriers are between its location and the location it's moving to, remove one of those barriers, cancel the effects of the move. Great. So, an enemy is trying to hunt towards me, but there's a barrier between us. It doesn't hunt, and we remove the barrier as it tries to break through. Yeah, I'm going to have a look as well, Flower, but I am doing this for my own understanding. We'll see. A decoy, represented by a horror token. When an enemy enters a location with a decoy, remove the decoy, deal a damage to that enemy, disengage it from each investigator, and exhaust it. That enemy cannot ready for the remainder of the round. Okay, so again, it'll hunt, say, we remove the decoy, it takes a damage, etc. And then the trap, when an enemy enters a location with a trap, remove the trap and deal 2 damage. Yeah, hell yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah, let's have a look and see what they say here. So barriers block the enemy of movements. They are represented by resources. If a card effect instructs you to place a barrier at your location, choose an adjacent location and place the barrier between your... Okay. So in fact, I understand then. Barriers are placed between locations, not actually at a location. So, for example, if I were to place a barrier, I chose to start here. I could do this. And then there'd be 1 barrier there. I have a feeling I'm going to be spending an awful lot of time making barriers. There is no limit to the number of barriers. When an enemy would move via a keyword, instead of moving, remove a barrier, cancel the effects of the move. Enemies that ignore barriers do not resolve any of the above effects. So, like, if they fly, I really hope they don't fly. Decoys. Some card abilities set up decoys. To set up a decoy, place a horror token on your location as a decoy. There's a limit of 1. When an enemy enters a location with a decoy, remove it. Deal a damage to that enemy. Exhaust it. Great. Traps, same thing. To lay a trap, place a damage token. There's 1 trap per location. When an enemy enters a location with a trap, remove the trap, deal 2 damage. Bosh. Okay. And we get to start with 1 decoy, 1 trap, and 1 barrier. The Ursine hybrid ignores barriers and decoys, but it does not ignore traps. So I'm going to go right ahead and just say trap. The farmhouse cannot have player card attachments, traps, or decoys. Correct, Crosshair. So, yes, you can't place a decoy at the captive. Like, you have to build out from your tower. The plan is I'm going to get the Ursine hybrid to hunt towards me. I'm going to trap it, and then I'm going to go in and explode it somehow. I don't know how. We are then going to, I think, place a barrier as far away from me as... We're going to place a barrier here, and maybe a decoy, like, there? It's probably better to do that, actually, I think. So the north is vulnerable. The south, I've put a decoy here, and I've put a barrier between the eastern outer fields and the Atwood farm to the east. Yeah. Okay. Because I don't really know what else is going to go on. Check your campaign log. Ooh, if the investigator faced the longest night alone. Okay, well, we did not. Otherwise, each investigator gains 2 clues from the token pool. I like clues. I bet you can free trigger clues into barriers and shit. Maybe even a whole action, I don't know. Check your campaign log and gather each story asset from the... Okay, great. Oh my gosh, this is going to be good, guys. Put Dr. Rosa Marquez into play under the control of an investigator. Yeah, Flower, great question. There is no limit to the number of barriers between locations, but they count at being at both locations that they are between. So in terms of where I placed one, I placed a barrier here, so it would count at being at both of these locations. So for example, there's going to be a treachery called, like, they're getting in, and it's going to tell me to remove barriers from adjacent locations or something. I'm spitballing here. Okay, put Dr. Rosa Marquez into play under the control of an investigator. She does not take up an ally slot. Put each resident who shared a dance under the control of an investigator. This is great news. If Helen shared a dance, she did not, but we still have her. She's part of the team. And remove the rest of the residents' encounter set from the game. Okay, so easy peasy lemon squeezy. We get Simon, and we get Rosa. Oh baby, let's remind ourselves what these guys do. This is very huge for a rogue, guys. Dr. Rosa Marquez is the best in her field, haha. While you control Dr. Rosa Marquez, you get +1 intellect and +1 agility. There's a reaction here. We can, after you discover the last clue at your location, you can resolve her codex entry. And Simon is here as well because we shared a dance, and he is, I don't think any of the residents do, Flower. I think it's just this weird, like, I think it's their way of, yeah, it's sort of a campaign reward, but you don't add them to your deck. I don't know why. They could have also, like in Edge of the Earth, those companions have, like, they're permanent, right? Or they're not permanent, but you, like, put them into play at the beginning of the scenario, but damage and horror carries over. Anyway, we also get +1 agility from Simon, and there's a parley test to test agility too, and there's a thing to resolve as well. I presume that's going to be worth doing. Ah! Oh god, sorry guys, I'm sorry if that was really loud. Actually, was that really loud? I'm just adjusting some cabling. Please tell me if this is really annoying. Everyone's like, nah, stop. Yeah, explosive traps. Let's go, please. Okay, cool. This is great. Set some stuff out of play. Shuffle the remaining encounter cards, and you are now ready to begin. Except not actually, because I'm gonna have to read the agenda in the act. Alessandra, Dr. Rosa Marquez, Sorry, Alessandra is following Dr. Rosa Marquez. Thank you, guys. Alessandra is following Dr. Marquez's lead. They're going to try to defend the farm for as long as possible to try to save some of these people who have been changed. Now, does Alessandra suspect that Dr. Marquez wants to actually, not yet, Flower, but we will. Do we suspect that maybe Dr. Marquez wants to experiment on them and find out what happened? Yes, of course she does. But let's be real. Our friend, Alessandra, wants as many bodies as possible to stand against whatever is coming. Oops. Okay. The enemy deck. During the setup of the scenario, a second deck with a different encounter back is constructed. It is a separate deck made up of only enemies and represents the relentless horde of frenzied beasts coming for the captives. Oh no! During the mythos phase, the agenda's forced effect prompts each investigator to draw the top card of the enemy deck. So to be clear, I'm pretty sure what's going to happen is every goddamn turn, we're going to draw a treachery and an enemy. Every turn. The enemy deck has its own discard pile. It is immune to player card effects. Non-weakness enemies go to the enemy discard pile. Let me shuffle it back. Okay, so enemies only are in the enemy deck, and they have their own discard pile. Okay, and that's it. Okay, well, we know we have a plan. Alessandra has set up traps to the west where she heard the biggest roar. She feels quite strongly that if they can destroy the largest enemy, then the captives might feel inspired to defend themselves against the beasts. If they can prove that it is possible to succeed, then perhaps they will be able to. Agenda 1A, the Onslaught. Wow. Some serious zombie stuff. And also, like, to the left of the art, there's just that one, like, face, which is horrible. Your only hope is to last until dawn. When checking the Doom threshold, Doom on cards other than this agenda subtract from the total Doom in play instead of adding to it. A classic. So this is the way that the game... Normally, Doom is bad. You want to stop its progression. You want to stop the forces of the mythos from accumulating Doom. In this scenario, you don't, because you're trying to last, and the more Doom accumulates, it subtracts from the total Doom in play, so it will take longer to reach the threshold. When a card effect would place Doom on the agenda... when a card effect would place Doom on the agenda, place it on the captive's story asset instead. Ew. So if there's like an Ancient Evils, the Doom goes on the captives. And there's nothing I can do. I'm not killing the captives. After Doom is placed on this agenda, each investigator draws the top card of the enemy deck. So you draw the enemy deck, and then you draw your encounter card. And it's got a 10 Doom threshold. Yeah, exactly, Crosshair. No. Yeah, it's bad news for sure. Act 1A, the longest night. You must protect the captives. Free trigger, during your turn, spend a clue, place a barrier, a decoy, or a trap at your location. Action, resign. Okay, then if each undefeated investigator has resigned, resolution 3. Objective, survive the night and protect as many captives as you can. Do not advance until you are instructed. We have to wait out the night. That's the only thing we have to do. Let's have a quick look as well. The Veil says, skulls are minus X. X is the current day number, which is 2. So minus 2, not so bad. The cultists are +1. If this is a parley attempt, you automatically... Wait, hang on. Is this the right one? No, this is the Veil. Aha! Sorry, Crosshair. Bong! What is happening? Did I... Oh, I didn't put... Okay, I see what I've done wrong here. Okay, I didn't put stuff back. I see what I've done wrong. Okay, so these will all go back in. We're going to put everything back in there. And then so this goes back into the second evening. Bong! This is the Veil. Okay. I was really excited because those seemed like very generous things. Oh, okay. Skulls are minus X. X is half the number of doom in play rounded up. Currently 0. Cultists are minus 2, but place a barrier at your location. You love to see that, actually. Not bad. Bong Bear. Tablets. Minus 1, reveal another token. If you fail, the nearest enemy readies, moves, and attacks as if it were the enemy phase. Got it. Okay, tablets. Little dangerous, but only minus 1, reveal another token. Elder Thing. Minus 4. If you fail, remove a barrier, decoy, or trap at your location. So minus 4 is the lowest. There's 2 of them, which is a little rough. Currently, our bag makeup is not bad, honestly. There's an awful lot of things that are minus 1 or better, so I think we need to just make as much progress as possible while we can. We just need to survive. Spend a clue to place a barrier, decoy, or trap at your location. Yeah, they're gonna be really bad. Like I said, Alessandra knows that the plan is to try to survive or resign, baby. The plan is to try to create as many sort of traps or damage or whatever decoys as possible, so that she can then repel as many of the invaders as she can. Very generous, Flower, but I think it's, I think it's like retreat, and then, what does it say? What did it say? It said, resolution 3. I will point out, when the captive story asset is defeated, you also proceed to resolution 3. Oh yeah, Crosshair, I wish I had more coffee. I'm gonna need more coffee for this longest tonight. Alessandra's plan is to destroy the Ursine hybrid. This is the largest, scariest thing that she's encountered so far on the Isle. If she can do this, she can rally the troops, so to speak, and get as many people as possible to rally to her cause. Let's have a look at this Atwood farm. It's the milk house. 3 shroud, 1 clue. There's a reaction here. It says, when you would place a decoy or a trap at Milk House, place it at an adjacent location instead. That's honestly very generous. Actually, I think I'm going to do that. Because I wanted to, like, decoy over here or whatever. Oh, hang on. I should see what the adjacency is. It said something about, yeah. Oh, I'm pretty sure, okay. Most campaigns have a set grid. Yeah, okay. So locations are connected to locations adjacent to it, as well as any connection icons. I'm just checking. There are no other connection icons. So you can't get... Okay, so I can't get to this farm without going through the farmhouse. Oh, that's so annoying. I'm going to be doing a lot of moving this scenario, I'll tell you that for free. There's also an action here to draw 1, set aside Fire Treachery, and shuffle a copy of a set aside Fire Treachery into the encounter deck. Draw 1 set aside Fire Treachery, shuffle 1 copy of a set aside Fire Treachery into the encounter deck. Are fires good? That doesn't seem like something I'd want to do. Yeah, that would be good, eh, Flower? Correct, yes. But let's just double check. When an enemy enters a location with a trap. So yes, correct, Flower. Hey, just keep sleeping for a second here. I just gotta dig this pit, put some sharpened stakes into it. Let's have a look at the Fire Treachery, because I don't understand why you'd want these. Fire. Attach fire to the nearest location with no copy of fire attached. Action, test agility 4. If you succeed, discard fire. Forced, at the end of the round, each card with health at this location takes a direct damage. So you can set... Oh, that's actually really wild. You can set fires, and then things that are, is it at the end of the round? At the end of the round, so after hunters move and attack, anything that's at a fire location takes a damage. That's actually wild. Why would I want, oh my god, so that is pure chaos, and I feel like when Crosshair returns, I need to inform him that we are probably going to go with a chaotic route. Specifically, I think that's what Simon would want. Yeah. Place it at a adjacent location. Okay, so in fact, what I want to do is like place other things around the sides, but I can't. Well, the point is we need to set up, right? Alessandra is here in the milk house, which has busted down windows and doors. We might end up drawing exactly flower. The problem is, of course, if I draw a set-aside fire treachery, I then need to leave, because otherwise I'm burning myself out. Sorry, tinnitus. We're good. Yeah, we're good. Okay. The Ursine hybrid is going to get very, very injured by all of the traps and things, which seems pretty good. I could also place a decoy at milk. Oh, it ignores decoys, so what's the point? I could place a trap here. Yeah, and then I just prep and move and get ready to defeat the Ursine hybrid myself. Okay. First and foremost, we need to see what all of these codexes are and stuff. Okay. Alessandra Zorzi has a plan. The plan is defeat and destroy the largest enemy that exists, the Ursine hybrid, bring it down, dig the traps, make sure that the survivors know that it can be defeated. I am going to start by playing Easy Mark, because I feel like that's this is a decent time to do it. Myriad. Gain 2 resources. Sorry, I need to spend an action to play it. Draw a card. After you play Easy Mark, play another Easy Mark from your hand at no cost. Not bad. So we start with some resources here, which is good. Fox Mask is going to be really important. British Bulldog is going to be really important. I think we're going to don our Fox Mask, because you replenish offerings when you move out of a location with an enemy, which I have a feeling we're going to be doing a lot of. And yeah, I want to resolve these codexes. Alessandra at the milk house here is looking out across the western fields, noting the perfectly disguised trap that she's placed just in... Oh, good, Crosshair, you're back. Excellent. You'll like this, Crosshair. Alessandra is viewing the beast as it sort of lumbers closer to the farm. Alessandra's plan, Crosshair, is, of course, to destroy the Ursine hybrid, the biggest, scariest enemy there is, in an attempt to inspire everyone else. However, Crosshair, I think you'll enjoy this. There's an action here to draw a set-aside fire treachery and shuffle a copy of a set-aside fire treachery into the encounter deck. Why would I want to do that? Let's have a look at these fire treacheries, shall we? Attach fire to the nearest location, with no copy of fire attached. Connected to a location with fire, if able. There's an action to test agility if you succeed, discard fire. Forced, at the end of the round, each card with health at this location takes a direct damage. And I see, okay, so, and of course, because everything is connected back to the farmhouse, exactly, Crosshair. You could set fire to the milk house, which will then eventually spread to the farmhouse, which will then burn the captives, but you can put it out. Agility test, not my worst test, probably my best test. I will be starting fires. I think it's going to be really, really valuable to have a fire raging to help destroy the Ursine hybrid. However, Alessandra is not at that point yet. She is looking to see if Simon or Rosa, Dr. Marquez, have any good plans. I am going to free trigger, spend a clue, place a barrier, decoy, or trap at your location. Exactly, just don't fall in. And I'm going to place a decoy at my location, just because I don't really know what these things do. So let's do it. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the plan, Flower. So let's do that next. Action. Sorry, fourth action, additional action. Parley. Test agility 2. If you succeed, read a codex. I have 6 agility. I'm just going to take this test on the nose. It's a good start. That's 0. There's 0 doom in play. So we succeed. Alessandra rushes over to Simon to be like, you know this farm. Obviously, you've grown up here. What do you suggest? How can we best trap it for the things that are coming in? You gotta lure him out and trip him. Simon cackles, looping a thread of baling wire around a collapsed fence. Okay, just beyond it, he fills a shallow pit with half-eaten bones and gore. Now we wait, he whispers. His obvious delight in placing lethal traps is troubling, to say the least. And yet, we're not mad at it. In Simon Atwood's notes, record, Simon stood by you. Place a decoy at any location. That's great news. Simon stood by you. Okay, so... stood by you. And we place a decoy at any location. Well, I'm going to place it somewhere where I don't have any defenses, which will be here. No bad thing. Yeah. Okay, cool. So he doesn't seem too mad about the idea of Alessandra possibly setting fire to things. Now, of course, I successfully parlayed, so I could snitch here to get the clue for free, but I think I would rather save that for when I have a few different clue locations open. Perhaps a little surprisingly, I'm actually going to play British Bulldog. It's not surprising. Alessandra takes her gun out to match Doctor Marquez's. They kind of look at each other and nod and get ready for the creatures that are incoming. Yeah, great. We've got a gun, we've got a fox mask, we've got our friend Simon, and we've got Dr. Rosa Marquez. A pretty good team, all things considered. That is me. Enemy phase, there are no enemies that can hunt. So I will upkeep and draw my other easy mark, sure. When the enemies have come and the farm is dark and the bear is the only fright we'll see, I won't be afraid as long as you stand. Stand by me. There he is. Look at this. Look at this little troublemaker. He showed up a little too late, easy mark, but that's okay. That's fine. So, Doom. When checking the Doom threshold, Doom on card... No, that's fine. When a card effect would place Doom on the agenda... darling. I'm placing a Doom. So we're already one gone, guys. That's great. After Doom is placed, draw the top card of the enemy deck. Oh, they're beefy. Uh-oh. Okay, this is a Capra hybrid. I suppose that, like any goat, it eats everything. Dr. Marquez. So this is a mutated squid goat, which we are not here for. This is horrible. It does 1 damage and 2 horror. It spawns at the outer... It's elite. Thanks. Ah, that's annoying. It spawns at the outer field's location with the fewest enemies. It is alert, and it patrols to the farmhouse. So it doesn't hunt me, but it patrols. It's moving towards the farmhouse. The Capra hybrid ignores decoys. Hey! Hello to you, Roger Twy. Welcome to Doomed. I'm going to place it here in the east where there's a barrier rather than a decoy, because I've been only placing decoys. It's also got 5 health. We're still prioritizing the Ursine hybrid. That's the plan. A horrible modulated bleating sound comes from the east. Oh my god, and it would do 3 damage to the captives, because it does 1 damage and 2 horror. Ugh. Oh boy. Okay, just to be clear, what do I have under Bewitching here? I've got Stir the Pot, I've got Vamp, and I've got Beguile. Where are my fine clothes? That's what exactly, Flower. It eats 1d3 captives per turn. Oh boy, a d3. Do any of these target non-elites? Or elites, rather? Yeah, they all do, except Beguile. Okay. Oh, yes, right. Ah, jeez. Thanks, Crosshair. Yes, it is one of the... I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. I think it's a fan-made accessory. Subject. This is the Susie helper. Got it. Come here, you. Fan-made accessories. Attachment helper. Hooray. Oh, where did it go? Huh. And we're going to change it so that it looks like Bewitching. And then I've realized that my music has ended, so we will get back in there. So far, whoop, there we go. Thanks, everyone. Lovely. I knew I forgot something. Alessandra is preparing for the onslaught of enemies, but perhaps was unprepared for the sheer volume and size of some of these creatures, which is not great. Oh boy. We'll then have to draw an encounter card as well. We hope that it's not too bad. Downpour. There descended such a blinding sheet of torrential rain that shelter became imperative. Thankfully, we're in the milk house. Test Intellect 3. For each point you fail by, you must either lose an action or place a clue on your location. That's fine. I'm 5 to 3. Let's do it. Cultist? Can't remember. -2. Place a barrier. Okay. It's -2, which means I succeed. Exactly, weirdness. Exactly. The horrible goat thing makes this strange modulating bleeding sound, and then the rain begins to pour down in sheets upon the... Oh, and the Ursine hybrid would ready. Upon the farm. Yikes. Okay, so, not so bad. I don't like that there's this big goat thing coming. It ignores decoys, which we really don't like. Okay, I am going to... Or rather, yeah, Zorzi here. Can I move through barriers? I'm sure I can move through barriers. When an enemy would move through barriers. Yeah, I placed it. I'm sure it's fine. The plan, I think, is to have the Ursine hybrid come towards me and get trapped, and then we just beat its ass. That's the plan. I would love to snitch. So we're gonna move. No, I would need to parley in order to... Okay, snitch is not useful here. Snitch is going to be more useful on the east side when I go and try to parley with the Capra hybrid. So instead, we're going to investigate. I have 5 intellect. This location has 3. Squid, -4. I failed. Remove a barrier, decoy, or trap at your location. I will remove this barrier that I placed for free. Very annoying. We're going to investigate again. 5 to 3. There we go. Wasn't that the third one? Hey, wasn't that... Hey, Crosshair, wasn't that the third one? Choose a non-elite enemy at your location or a revealed connecting location. I don't have any, but we succeed, so we get the clue this time. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean, huh? Hey. Okay, we have the clue. I am going to reaction talk to Doctor Marquez. The creatures are beginning to move towards the house, and we are not excited about that. Let's go and talk to Dr. Rosa Marquez.
This is Cantigny all over again, Dr. Marquez says as she drags several heavy crates to form the barrier. What happened at Cantigny? Oh, she tells you more about her first and last battle in the Great War and the death of her partner. Oh my god. We can't die. Not like this. We just have to hold out until dawn. Dr. Rosa Marquez takes her gun and aims it at the beast that is coming towards her. Place 2 barriers at your location. Well, we've definitely got a lot of things happening here, which is good. I think I'm gonna set fire here and then run, and I think so, Crosshair. She was talking about her partner. Just saying. Yeah, I know. Why did no one tell me she's a war veteran? What an absolute badass. Let's do it. Oh, actually, I can't do that because I'm out of actions. If I were to draw Fire Treachery now, it would burn me. Yeah, it would burn me. So, instead, I have no one to parley with. I think I'm just going to... I'm not going to move away because I want to set fire to this milk house. So instead, I'm going to... Can I spend a clue to place... Yeah, I'm going to spend a clue to place a... Oh, no, I can't. Hang on. What I'm going to do here... One trap per... Exactly, Crosshair. But can I place a trap and a decoy at the same location? I think so. Yeah. Oh no, but the bear doesn't. The bear doesn't ignore his decoys. Oh yeah, correct, Flower. Sorry, I saw your note and I was like, and what's the point? But it would specifically burn everybody to death. I can't though because there's a limit of 1 trap per location. Oh, I could trap my location. Yeah, that's a good idea. Good idea, guys. Let's do it. I'm going to free trigger, spend a clue to place a trap. We're going to dig a trap right here. This is the one set by our friend Simon. Actually, I think this means, let's just quickly do this. 2 damage from this trap, 2 damage from this trap, 1 from fire. That's 2, 4, 5, 7 out of 9. Okay, well, I would still need to do something to the Ursine hybrid, but that's okay. I think we can do that. So maybe we don't maybe we don't set fire at all. Well, there's nothing to do here, so I think that was a free trigger. I'm just gonna move. I bet there's something I can do with the captives as well. So I'm gonna move to the farmhouse just to see what it gives me here. Right, it's 4 shroud, it's 2 clues. There you go. During your turn, spend a resource, move to a connecting location. Action, gain a clue. And it's 4 shroud and 2 clues, so I can get a bunch of stuff, pick up a bunch of barriers and things here. And, yeah, okay. But I could also... It cannot have player cards, attachments, traps, or decoys, but it could definitely have barriers. Do I spend a clue to barrier up now? No, we wait. I could also move towards the Capra hybrid, which I'm getting ready to try to destroy it. Okay. I think we leave it here. I don't have anyone to parley with, so there's no point. In the enemy phase, here we go. Hunters hunt and patrollers patrol. The Capra tries to patrol, but it does not. Instead, we remove this barrier, right? When an enemy would move, remove one of those barriers. Great. The Ursine hybrid says, hunter, so it hunts towards me. It could, you are, of course, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. It could hunt up, like it could hunt towards the outer fields, but I think I'm going to have it hunt here, which says, remove the trap, deal 2 damage to that enemy. This is great. I have a feeling Alessandra's just going to be running around trapping everything, which I'm not mad at, honestly. It's kind of awesome. Okay.
It's the enemy phase. Upkeep. Aha. Okay. He spawns at the nearest empty location. Oh! Interesting. Okay. Let's talk story here. Alessandra rushes from the milk house back into the farmhouse to check on the captives. She's trying to get as many different barriers, obstacles, anything as possible from the farmhouse to try to isolate them from the creatures that are coming in. When she hears a tapping noise at the window, looking up, assuming that she's going to see some sort of monster, some sort of hybrid animal. Instead, a man with dark hair, standing in his pinstriped suit, smiling in a way that isn't quite human. This is Zamacona. Great question, Flower. Car, let's check. I believe things ready. Yeah, you reset, so things ready first. Then you draw a card and gain a resource, and then you check your hand size. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, reset actions. Flip your mini card. I don't flip my mini card. But yes, things ready first. So if you were to then draw a card that says, like, exhaust something, you know, that's what would happen. Now, how does Zamacona work here? He spawns at the nearest empty location. He can't be parlayed with. The first time I parlay each round, he gets a Doom, which, as we know, is awful because Doom on cards other than this agenda subtract from the total Doom in play. So Zamacona is going to basically extend the longest night. Why is he here? What is he doing that he's watching Alessandra from... She cannot believe that he is here, and yet, do her senses deceive her? Has he followed her all this way just to... just to sort of, well, essentially mock her? He spawns at the nearest empty location. Decoy said when an enemy enters a location with a decoy. It would be very nice. Exactly, Flower. So I'm going to spawn him here because I want to go and deal with him. Ugh, I don't have a backstab, though. That would be nice. Okay. Yeah, okay. Doom! We place a Doom, we draw another enemy. Things are starting to get a little hairy here for Alessandra. What do we got? A lupine hybrid. Ugh. This is some sort of wolf that's been infected? Strangely, they didn't howl. They laughed. Yikes. It's also elite. A 3/4/1. It spawns at the outer fields south. Just says that. It retaliates and it patrols to the farmhouse. After it attacks, heal a damage from it. That is not good either, isn't it? Okay. The decoy's not really going to help here, is it? Because it's going to deal a damage, but then it... Okay. A howling laugh and cackle causes Alessandra to look to the south as well. Creatures race over the fields. Oh, sorry, and I have to draw an encounter card too. Maybe it'll be good for me. It's Hunting Shadow. Oh, spend a clue or take 2 damage. I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I'm not. I am absolutely not taking 2 damage. Or sorry, not spending a clue. I'm going to take 2 damage. I'm going to put 1 on Simon and 1 on me. A shadowy figure follows you in the rain. That's Zamacona, right? When you look at it, your head pounds in agony and your vision blurs. I don't want to spend my clues because clues are really valuable in this economy. Yeah, they're very valuable. Okay. So here's my thought. We're back around. There may be some easy marks here in the captives. Woof. Okay. I can spend a resource to move to a connecting location where I could then place some barriers. I need clues. What I like about Snitch is that if I succeed at a skill test while parleying, I can discover 2 total clues from among your location and connecting locations. Yeah, exactly, Crosshair, for sure. It's going to move into the milk house and take 2 more damage. and then it'll be at 6 out of 9, so I think I can probably finish it off from there. So I might just take a turn to keep getting clues. And then, because I have no one to parley with right now. I have no one to talk to. I have no one to parley with, and frankly, what I really want is a backstab for Zamacona. Okay. To the west, the massive bear lumbers forward towards the house. To the south, a cackling jackal lopes in. To the east, a strange bleating goat hybrid thing. Oh my god, it's huge. That is so bad. And somewhere just outside the farmhouse, the criminal mastermind known only as Zamacona laughs. I think we want clues. And then I think we want to set some traps. Because the plan is, basically, at some point, parley with an enemy. Parley with an enemy. Snitch to get a bunch of clues at once. Yeah. So, first things first, we easy mark. Sure, we gain 2 resources and draw a card. It's fine clothes! That is actually what I wanted. We spend 1 to play them. Now, of course, in this context, we're not wearing our finery. Alessandra Zorzi is suiting up in some farmhand overalls that she's found, including some galoshes, which, while not particularly fashionable, are very maneuverable in what is quickly becoming a slick mud patch outside. And then I'm going to action investigate. It's 4 shroud. I may as well just take a clue. I'm just going to take a clue from the token pool. Boop. And then I could spend 1 to put a barrier down, which I think I'm going to do. I'm going to put a barrier to the east of the farmhouse, which I think is probably for the best. Yeah, these things are getting really... I am going to run out of actions so goddamn fast, you have no idea. Okay. We're hoping to draw into a backstab for Zamacona as well. But, actually, I will say, in most scenarios, Zamacona is bad because if you try to use your powers of speaking to people, he simply laughs in your face and accelerates the plans of those who are evil. In this scenario, he is delaying the sunrise somehow. He is keeping the night, he's pushing the dawn back. But if you kill him, all of the doom on him goes away. Sorry, let's check that. No, when a card effect would place doom on the agenda, it places it on the captives instead. Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty good. So if he accumulates doom and then I just kill him, his mocking words makes it feel longer. Should I be putting more barriers up, guys? I don't know. I'm just scared. Help, I'm scared. Okay, enemy phase. Hunters hunt and patrollers patrol. The Capra hybrid patrols towards the house. The Lupine hybrid patrols. There is a decoy at the Atwood farm, which, if I am not mistaken, deals a damage, exhausts it, and it cannot ready for the remainder of the round. Oh, that's great news. Yeah, for sure, Flower. Yeah, and I'm terrified. And of course, the Ursine hybrid ignores barriers, just simply smashing through them. But the trap that Simon has set up in the milk house springs as the barbed wire shoots out from its tension-laden spring and slashes across the beast. It howls in pain, and it is rejoined by a chorus of howls from everywhere. Now this is bad, because I all of a sudden have a lot of enemies to deal with. I can place barriers to slow down the Capra, which I might do. Okay. Upkeep. Still not a backstab. But sneak attack. Sneak attack's pretty good. Mythos, we place a doom. We draw another goddamn enemy. This is the slithering hybrid. Ugh! It spawns at the outer fields with the most enemies, which is currently none. I think that probably means to the east for me, because that would make the most sense. It's aloof, and it patrols to the farmhouse. It ignores barriers, decoys, traps, and damage from fire treacheries. Great question, Flower. I will double check. That's so annoying. I'm gonna put it to the... It just ignores everything. That is so annoying. I guess I'll put it here, because it's the furthest from the house. I still have to draw a thing. Some enemies in this campaign have the patrol keyword. During the enemy phase, so during 3.2, which we'll just check when that is, but ready unengaged enemies with patrol, move, and they do their patrol. It doesn't say anything about hunter timing, so let's look at 3.2. I'm pretty sure hunter enemies move, patrol enemies move. It's during the same window. Because it's the same window, I usually try to go... I mean, you can choose the order, but I tend to go in the order that they appeared. Exactly. So, okay, this is... I'm honestly terrified. The lupine hybrid does not ready because it cannot ready for the remainder of the round. Why decoys are good. I upkept into the sneak attack. I placed a doom. I drew a new enemy, which is this horrible slithering hybrid, which I guess is some sort of snail, squid snake up on the land. It's 3 combat, 2 health, 2 agility, but it's aloof and it ignores everything. Oh my god. These captives are not going to make it. We're drawing an encounter card. Enervation. Test combat 5. The sores won't heal on their own and emit a sharp chemical scent. Obviously, being so close to people like Tad and the other sick villagers inside the farmhouse, Alessandra looks down and is horrified to notice these sores appearing on her arm as well. Test Combat 5. Reduce the difficulty of this test by 1 for each damage on you. Okay, that's good. If you fail, you must either take 2 damage or choose the card with the highest printed cost in your hand and discard it. That would be one of those. However, I have 3 damage on me, so in fact I'm testing 2 to 2. Can I do anything about this? Not really. It's not a parley action. Yeah. I'm testing 2 to 2, and I might have to take more damage. I really don't want to, so we're gonna just test it. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, choose the card with the highest printed cost in your hand and discard it. Sneak attack, very good. Persuasion, honestly, maybe not as good in this. Because we're shuffling enemies back, but, like... oh, it's an automatic evasion. It's an automatic evasion, which is not bad. I don't think we want to parley right now, so I'm going to discard that. She rips the sores out, grimacing as she does so. Move back to the investigation phase. Okay, we must defeat the Ursine hybrid. We're going to spend a clue to place another barrier to the east. Oh, yeah, that's a good question, Flower, actually, because I would think that they would then it would mean, like, oh, just place it back in the enemy deck, but you're probably right. The enemy deck has its own discard pile and is immune to player card effects. No, you're right. It is immune to player card effects. Although the enemy isn't immune to player card effects. Shuffle it into the encounter deck. That is a weird edge case, isn't it? I mean, the fact of the matter is I don't really want the enemy going back anyway. You persuade it to leave you alone for a while, but I would rather just, like, blow these guys up as best I can. Okay. Okay. We gotta do this. We gotta destroy the Ursine hybrid. What do we have in here? We have Vamp, Stir the Pot, and Beguile. Beguile only works on non-elite enemies, which I think Slithering Hybrid is non-elite, so that is going to get beguiled for sure. The Capra and the lupine are both elite, which is pretty rough. However, I've barricaded this off, and I think I can snitch to gain some sweet, sweet, sweet clues. Remind me what... So Stir the Pot is a parley that does 2 damage to all enemies at your location. So I'm going to use that once things are maybe at the farmhouse or something. Vamp, however, choose an enemy at your location and any number of skills, 1 at a time. Test each chosen skill at 2, although I would reduce that to 0 with my fine clothes. For each test you succeeded, you could remove a doom, discover a clue. You could automatically evade it, and then I could deal damage to it. That actually seems a little, like, maybe not that good. I want to just... I think I just want to... Well, it's 2 damage to the Ursine hybrid, but I have no other clues. Although I do want to succeed at a parley. Yeah, okay. No, I'm going to spend a resource to move fast. Whoop. Alessandra can see all of the creatures coming. Some of them caught up in traps and decoys, some of them bleating, some of them screaming. And yet, she is aware. The creature that she must... The plan remains. We must defeat the large bear beast. The biggest, scariest, most terrifying enemy. Oh, I don't even... It's massive, so I don't even engage it, so I don't even get the... Yeah, I don't even get to parley. That's annoying. Oh, that's so annoying. Well... And it has 3 damage that needs to go on it. So, we're here. The plan is evade and kill. And then we're gonna, I don't know, head back to the... Maybe we're gonna set fire to things and move? Actually. Yeah, maybe that's the plan. Move in and then keep moving. Yeah. Okay. I was hoping I could get clues, but I can't right now, and that's fine. First action, we're going to evade this creature. We're going to try to lure it around the milk house. Alessandra is going to try to call to it in its own sort of roaring, gasping, hacking sound to lure it around the side of the milk house, where she can then spring a trap on it. A fire, if you will. I have 6 agility, so I'm just going to go 6 to 3. Yeah. Okay, great. Done. Yeah. Thanks, Flower. Yeah, I agree. That would be pretty terrible. It's evaded. I don't want to draw fire treachery here without being able to move. Because what I would want to do is sneak attack, fire, move, but I can't. So, do we draw the fire and then move? And then come back? No, that's crazy. No, we just try to destroy this thing. Sneak attack. Deal 2 damage to an exhausted enemy at your location. The creature smashes into the low door frame of the milk house. Unable to break through, it roars in frustration as Alessandra screams, "Now!" and Simon and Rosa start blasting it from outside. Okay, done. 2 damage. Last action. It only has 9 health, so I only need to do 1 damage to it. It has 5 combat, so I think fighting at 2 is probably a bad move. I'm going to shoot it. I'm going to use a bullet, I know, from my British Bulldog. I am fighting at 6 to 5. And I'm going to spend an offering from the Fox Mask. Oh, welcome back, Crosshair. I'll give you the short and the long of it here. We've placed some more barriers. We're trying to keep everybody at bay as much as we can. But Alessandra's plan has continued. She's heading back to the milk house. She lured the creature around the side. It tried to bust through the milk house but got stuck. So she's got everyone blasting at it. And she is now attempting to take it down and deal the final blow to it. It has 1 health remaining. I'm shooting at it with the British Bulldog. 6 to 5. 8 with the Fox Mask. Oh, the new enemy. Yeah, the new enemy is the Slithering Hybrid. which is aloof and ignores everything. Yes, yes, Flower is correct. It's the slithering squid. What did I say? The slithering squid. Something. I can't remember what I said. And it ignores fire. However, snail snake. It's the slithering snail snake squid. What it does not have is elite, which means it can be beguiled to do my bidding, which I think I will try to do. Last action. We're shooting at 8 to 5. Oh, God. I just don't want to fail. I just really don't want to fail. Fuck it. Oh, thank gosh. Okay, good. Blam! The report from Alessandra's firearm is absolutely deafening inside the confines of the milk house. As the creature roars, the bullet blasts through its skull, tearing it apart. I deal 2 damage to it, which is more than enough to put it in the victory display. Good. Very good. Okay. And that's my turn. I can't parley because there's nothing to parley with yet. Enemy phase. Hunters hunt and patrollers patrol. The lupine hybrid is still exhausted. The Capra tries to move but can't because of the barrier. It doesn't ignore barriers. No, it ignores decoys. Great. The slithering hybrid is patrolling towards the farmhouse as well. In the name of the cardboard box, I punish you. We go to upkeep, where I draw an eldritch tongue. You may play events with parley from your discard pile as if they were in your hand. Very good. Okay. Okay. And then the lupine hybrid readies, and now we're in big goddamn trouble. Actually, we're in really big trouble here. I need to go deal with this thing. Absolutely stat. We go to 4 doom out of 10. I'm about to be placing doom on Zamakona because I'm going to have to start parleying this thing, like, now. We draw a new enemy. Oh, it's the molting hybrid. Look at this little cutie. It's a 2/3/4. It is also aloof for some reason. Why are you doing this to me? What is this? It spawns at the outer fields to the east. Okay, so obviously what you really need is someone with like a big ass telescope. You know what you need is you need someone who's running that terrible deck that's probably a little better now and is great in this scenario. You run telescopic sight on your Barrett or on your rifle of some kind, and you just like bang, bang, bang things as they come in. Extra ammo, you know, contraband. You want Leo with a telescopic sight on his rifle. And custom ammunition, so it deals extra damage to monsters. Yeah, exactly, Crosshair. Although I don't know if she took telescopic sight. I can't remember. That's that attachment that... Yes, Flower, yeah, very specifically. I think it's the... Let's look at it. Let's look at it, because I want to take a mini break from this thing. Telescopic sight is an item. It's an upgrade. You attach it to a firearm that takes up 2 hand slots, so it has to go on a rifle. When you perform a fight action, if you are engaged with no enemies, exhaust it, so you can only do it once per round. This attack can target a non-elite enemy at a connecting location, ignore, aloof, and retaliate. So very specifically, this is when you want to do this. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Crosshair, I think it's awesome. And honestly, like, I'm not saying that there's a good or a bad, like, deck for this sort of to work with. But I feel like Dynamite, yeah. I feel like Tommy Muldoon, the cop, he has his unique signature weapon, Becky, which is a 2-handed rifle. And again, I'm not saying that's better or worse because I think it's just I mean, the thing about the whatever that old hunting rifle? Yeah, that hunting rifle would have been like it deals extra damage on blesses or elder signs, which is good for her, of course, if you feel your thing with blesses. Okay, what did I just do? I drew the molting hybrid to the east. That's not something I'm concerned about right now. It just is what it is. However, we are drawing obscuring fog. Okay, Fog rolls off of the corpse of the Ursine hybrid as it lies outside the milk house. Is it truly dead? I don't know. Okay, drawing fire is terrible now, so we're back. And then we're back around. Okay. The Capra... The Winchester, that's the one. Okay. Well, this is fine. I need to prioritize the lupine hybrid. So, I don't know in what order I'm going to do these things, but we're going to figure it out. Move back to the farmhouse. Fast. I don't have any clues. So fast, we move down here to the Atwood farm, where I engage the lupine hybrid. We're trying to just keep anything at bay that we can. Rushing to the south and finding herself out in the vineyard. The grapes are all skin and pop like puffballs when touched. Some sort of this disease that is changing the creatures. Sister Mary seems to think it's, I don't know, Mother Rachel seems to think that it's some beautiful ascension that is taking place, but Alessandra and Doctor Marquez understand for real that is not what is happening here. During your turn, engage an enemy at vineyard. Forced, when an enemy enters vineyard, heal the damage from it. Now that's what's nice is it wasn't revealed when it entered, so that's good. After it attacks, heal the damage from it. Yeah. Oh, good day to you, Requiem Lost. Welcome to Doomed. Wonderful to have you with us. I'll give you a brief summary in a moment. Crosshair, I love, and I've only played it once, and not on stream, of course, because you would have known, you would have seen it. And I think the, playing the sort of a Guardian with a two-handed rifle and all of the attachments, like the one mega weapon, very cool. Then obviously, and then you have well-maintained, so if you draw your Crypt Chill and you draw a tentacle, then at least everything comes back to your hand and doesn't just get discarded, because that sucks. You don't get so chilly you drop your gun. But I think it's such a fun way to play. I think there are some investigators it suits better because they have a good combat, they can draw faster, they can get excellent Crosshair. Will you send that to me on Discord? Or, if you want to tease it in the chat, feel free. Requiem, it is night 2 here in the Vale. Alessandra followed Doctor Marquez down to the old Atwood farmstead and found a bunch of very sick villagers that are being here. The captives, aka the Star Children, for some reason. We are defending the farmhouse by putting up barricades, decoys, and traps because there are beasts everywhere, and they're hunting in. We've already managed to kablamo the big-ass bear hybrid, which is good. Oh, it is a magical place. I know. Okay, perfection. Love that. Okay. I moved into the lupine hybrid's location, and it engaged me, so I can fire Bewitching. Exhaust Bewitching, draw an attached card, or search the top 9 for an attached card, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to grab Vamp. Here we go. This is where it's going to get really good. I think this is going to get really good. Okay. We're going to play Vamp. With the creature here kind of screeching and shouting and cackling, Alessandra is going to try to sing to it. Soothingly, perhaps? Did I move out of a location with an enemy? Not yet. I parlayed, so I have to put a Doom on Zamacona. So I'm down a Doom now until the end, but that's okay. This is my parley action. Choose an enemy at your location, and any number of skills. One at a time, test each chosen skill 2. So, I will. Those are all 0 difficulty tests because of my farm clothes, aka my fine clothes, aka my farm clothes. So I'm gonna test 5 to 0 to discover a clue at that enemy's location. Success. I'm also then going to snitch, which says Discover 2 total clues from among your location and connecting locations. Yeet. We love that. Oh, yeah. A triple tentacle. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you absolutely can. Yeah, so this is the... Okay, this is... Yes, I should say. The level 0 version of Vamp says, choose 1 and test it at difficulty 3. So, you know, for lots of different investigators, you know, parlaying an enemy with combat. If you have high combat, you can deal 2 damage without having to engage them, all of this sort of thing. Discover a clue without having to engage, like, it's good. At level 3, it gains a wild icon. The difficulty goes down to 2. You can do all of them. Like, it's just wild. Yeah. I am now going to test agility, also at difficulty 0. It is not non-elite. It is elite. So I am just going to test 6 to 0. A skull, which is minus... I should be updating this. It's now minus 2? No, it's half the number of doom in play rounded up. Whoa, it's now minus 3 until we deal with Zamacona. But that's okay. We automatically evade it here at the vineyard. That's fine. Now I'm going to test combat, also at difficulty 0. Still a success. Alessandra's singing soothes the beast, and some of the fungus growing on its back seems to crackle with energy. Yeah, it's elite, so I don't get to move it, Flower, tragically. That would be very strong here, but it is what it is. Hell yeah. And yes, it also, yes, it still fires here. Okay. I've got lots of clues now as well, which I'm going to use to probably put up more barriers towards the Capra hybrid and all that sort of thing. What am I going to do? I would like to deal 1 more damage to the lupine hybrid. But maybe we just evade it for now. Okay. We focus. Alessandra's singing seems to soothe the beast, but the strange growths on its back crackle and burn with an energy that seems to injure the beast. Even though it is soothed and lying down, it starts to alight. She smiles. Her theory is correct. It would appear that whatever the strange fungus is that has taken over these creatures and driven them to madness or aggression, it can be reasoned with. What Alessandra might not know is the reason that this fungus... The fungus can be reasoned with, or it can be spoken to. But why is that? Is it because this fungus came to us on a meteorite? Is it because this fungus is, in fact, an alien? Just saying. I think we move back, and I think we play Eldritch Tongue. And then we place some fucking barriers and stuff. Yeah, I think that's what we do. We move back to the farmhouse. We play Eldritch Tongue, which will allow me to... It's true, Flower. I think there are... Oh, and I've moved out of a location with an enemy, so we get the Foxmask charge back. I think there's many worse things than having to burn all of her clothes, especially knowing what I know about Alessandra Zorzi. I think we're gonna go stir the pot somewhere pretty soon. I have a bunch of clues, so I'm gonna spend 2 clues to place some barriers. 1 to the east, and 1 to the south. Because, of course, this slithering hybrid just avoids everything anyway, and this freaking molting hybrid bird also ignores barriers because it flies. I'm not unhappy with how this is going. I have to deal with Zamacona. And I will. And I will, guys. Enemy phase. Hunters hunt and patrollers patrol. Exactly, Crosshair. I think this is awesome. I think this is my headcanon. I don't really care what the story says. Or at least it's my headcanon for now. There's this huge fungus-based life form on a planet in outer space. They could theoretically do anything humans could because they're advanced enough, including create spore launchers that turn into massive bits of ice and rock over time, but contain a core of spores, a spore core, if you will. Okay, so hunters hunt and patrollers patrol. The lupine hybrid is exhausted. The molting hybrid patrols in. The slithering hybrid patrols in and ignores, fuck's sakes, barriers, decoys, traps, and fires. The Capra tries and fails because of the barrier. And then we go to upkeep. Lockpicks. Great. Well, that's, I mean, useless is such a strong term. I place another doom. We go to 5 out of 10. We're still alive. If we can kill Zamacona, we're actually... Oh, sorry. So we're actually dead. 4. If we can kill Zamacona, it will, in essence, bring us back up to where we're supposed to be. We draw an enemy, and then an encounter card. Please, don't be too bad. It's gonna be bad. This is an equine hybrid. Oh no, it's a horsey! It spawns in the outer fields to the east. Why is everything coming from here? This is where the beasts are. Patrols to the farmhouse. It ignores traps. When it would take any amount of damage, reduce that amount to 1. Stir the Pot is looking a lot less good here. I think we're about to get absolutely trashed by creatures here, guys. I think that's what's going to happen. The equine hybrid also readies. This is so bad. Yeah, I mean, that's probably my best bet, honestly. And then we draw an encounter card. Oh, it's Dissonant Voices! Obviously, Zamacona begins laughing. He seems to be standing in amongst all of the strange hybridized creatures, the things that don't seem to make sense biologically, logically. It don't seem to have any basis in reality. And yet, the innocents can survive 10 turns. The fire will burn up all my allies as well, which is not ideal, I will say. But I do think that's no bad thing. Okay. Well, actually, this is pretty bad. I can't play assets or events, which means I can't beguile this turn. We'll have to see what the best bet is here. Okay, but I think fire is maybe not the worst idea. Okay. Focus up. Zamacona's laughter rings through Alessandra's mind, causing her to clamp her hands over her ears and almost missing the sounds of all of the various creatures from across the farmland, screeching, yelling, crying out. Okay. I think the captives are going to start taking some damage. That is probably what's going to happen. How big is the treachery? I don't really... Yeah, I think so too, Flower. That seems like a good shout. Also, but things that are aloof, of course. Yeah. I think I need to go and deal with the slithering hybrid, because it does 2 horror. Yeah. So, we're back. I can't play events! Fuck. That's fine. First, it's not an action. I just move. I spend a resource and I move to this connecting location. I'm going to spend an action engaging the creature. I think it feels... I mean... Whether or not Alessandra knows that some of these creatures can ignore barriers. Like, she's tried to block off the east and south sides as best as she can. I'm going to engage the slithering hybrid. Then I'm going to attack it. Now, I did engage the enemy, so I am going to exhaust Bewitching to search for a copy of Beguile in my top 9. If I don't find one, I can't play one anyway, but I'm hoping to find one so that I at least have it in hand. Got it. Okay. We're now going to shoot this creature, because I can't play assets or events, but that screaming laughter in my ears doesn't stop me from shooting the shit out of this thing. I am at 6-3, and I'm gonna make it 8, because I don't trust the chaos bag. Here we go. I should have trusted the chaos bag. It's fine. Blam! The report rings out in the milk house once again as the creature stops slithering and seems to shrivel up into nothingness. Okay. Honestly, not bad. Annoyingly, I can't draw fire and move. I would also lose my fine clothes. So the question is how... Okay, if I move back to the captives, the Capra can't hunt. The molting hybrid can, but it's aloof, so it won't engage me. The lupine hybrid also can't move, so I think... Basically, it's just the molting hybrid would come in and attack. So I think maybe we wait and then we... Do we just get fire going? Is that crazy town? I think if I'm there, I'll be in a position to... God. When molting hybrid would take any amount of damage, reduce that amount to 1. Great question, Flower. During the enemy phase, each ready, unengaged enemy at the farmhouse attacks as though it were engaged with the captives. So, during the enemy's attack part, it is as if they were engaged with the captives if they're not already engaged with me. That's okay. I think I'm going to lose some, right? That's just how it's going to be. I could persuade the molting hybrid to go away. No, we've talked about this. You can't put it back in the deck. I do have Eldritch Tongue, which would let me, like... What would it let me do? Like, vamp and stuff? It would let me persuade. It would... Oh, God. It's just so annoying. There's just so much stuff on the board. Yeah, fire would be quite good, wouldn't it? But I don't want to get burned this turn. Next turn, I could draw fire, move. Actually, no, I wouldn't draw 2 fires. I could draw fire, move, and then what? I could do some sort of parlay with the molting hybrid. Yes, of course I could beguile it. So we stay here, and we take a resource to allow me to pay for more stuff. Yes, I could also barricade from there, because I have a clue. And then, yeah, no, I'll decide what's the most important thing when I move in and barricade. Yeah, Flower, great question. So it would spawn at the milk house. However, 1 copy gets shuffled into the encounter deck. So eventually, I would pull it if I was at the farmhouse or the Atwood farm, and then, in theory, the raging fires around the, like, from the farms, would in theory deal damage to creatures as they pass through. It's like a trap, right? I mean, honestly, traps would be really good here too, actually. Ugh. So annoying. I wonder what this farm location does. I bet there's something good here. Do I move back? No, we talked about this. Okay. Done. Enemy phase. Hunters and patrollers try to move. This barrier gets removed. This barrier gets removed. This horsey moves in, and this molting hybrid also moves in. It ignores barriers anyway, and it is unengaged and ready, so it attacks the captives, and it deals its horror as if it were a damage. A screeching resounds from the farmhouse behind Alessandra, and she turns around. Oh God, they've already gotten in! She starts running back towards it. That's the enemy phase. We go to the upkeep phase. I draw a card. String of Curses? Honestly? Yeah. I mean, that was never going to happen, Flower. I don't have no telescopic rifle. We place a Doom honestly not the worst. And we draw an encounter. Oh, sorry, we draw an enemy and then we draw an encounter card. Good lord. I hope one of these enemies is like, oh, yeah, well, exactly, weirdness. They may have their faces and arms being pecked at by a horrible, you know, possessed bird. But at least there isn't a bear tearing them open. Fuck off. It's the Capra hybrid again. Oh my god, this goat spawns at the outer field location with the fewest enemies. Well, that's anywhere. It ignores decoys, so I may as well put it over here where I've got a bunch of barriers. Then I draw an encounter card, which I hope will destroy them. It's not. It's a scheme. Test agility X. X is half the number of doom in play, rounded up. 6, 7, so that's 4. For each point you fail by, oh boy, choose a different mutated enemy nearest to the farmhouse, ready it. They move, engage, and attack as if it were the enemy phase. Well, we're about to get a whole bunch of people coming towards us, guys. So we... Okay, an incursion! Look out! Smash! We are at 6-4. We're at 6-4. I think... Do we use a fox mask on this test? Nah. Oh! If you succeed, choose a non-elite enemy at your location or a revealed connecting location. Automatically evade that enemy. Oh! Well, that is the opposite, Flower, and we are happy about that. Okay, not only does the smashing sound cease, but Alessandra is shocked to hear a thumping sound as the squawking stops. She moves back towards the farmhouse. It would appear that the bird has been paralyzed for some reason, some moment. Yeah, oh, yeah, me too. Okay. Let's see. I've got a bunch of enemies coming in, at which point I'm probably going to try to stir the pot and, like, blow them all up. It doesn't do enough damage, but we're just going to have to do it. It'll kill some stuff. Yeah, oh yeah, they're just absolutely out of control. I think that's what's going on here. Okay, and I can also beguile. Oh, really not bad. I could parley, or I could string of... Okay, I have a lot of parley options. Although I think what I'm going to do is take a brief moment. It's all... I'm not going to finish the scenario today anyway. Is this a good place to leave it? Probably not. I have so many options, though. I want to, like, consider my options here. So, I could move back in. I could fire the milk house. I could move back in, get a clue, and place some more barriers. Right? But I think I'd almost rather have all of the creatures move in, and then I would try to stir the pot and destroy them all. Yeah, it depends on what one round could do. It's really next round that I'm it's really next round that I'm more interested in. So I think I will call it here for today, actually, guys, even though I know that's not particularly exciting. We know it's the beginning of the investigation phase. I have lots of options, and I think that's what we're gonna do. Because yeah, otherwise I'm gonna get a little too deep into it. I have some things to do before. That's right, Drew Crew this afternoon. In just under 2 hours, it's Drew Crew over on Elizabeth's channel. And then, oh, well, Flower, so here's the thing. Am I even available next week? There's a week where I'm not available, so I was like, oh, I'll do it during the week. What is happening? Okay, hang on. None of this is important. What's next Saturday? Yeah, I'm not even available next week. Which means that you're gonna have to try to catch me. It is weirdness, which means you're gonna try to have to catch me during the week. I'm gonna probably just like, I know, Crosshair. What is even going on? There's all of these like, what is all this work we're getting? Ludicrous. It has been very crazy, and I'm a little disappointed because I am really enjoying Feast of Hemlock Vale. Get that green. And Alessandra Zorzi, shockingly, has managed to keep most of the captives alive for now. We'll have to see how it goes. So, Stay tuned to the Discord for information. I'm going to try to schedule the second part of this scenario through the week. There's only a few rounds left because the onslaught will end or I'll resign. And what else do I have to say? Yeah, we have Drew Crew this afternoon in just under 2 hours. I think so too, Weirdness. She has a lot of friends, and they're all pretty good with traps too. And then tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, back at its usual time, it's Montreal by Moonlight, which is, of course, our Werewolf 5th campaign. It's been a very long time since I've played that. Don't shoot vegetarians. What on earth do you think that means? For those of you who are not caught up on Montreal by Moonlight, I will not specifically say where we're at, but I will say that my character, Dante, the Glasswalker, is... he's in trouble. So, I'm hoping you can join us for that tomorrow afternoon as well. Really looking forward to streams throughout the week. As always, of course, the Discord is the place to find out about everything. If you're liking Doomed, leave me a comment on the VOD. If you're liking Doomed, leave me a comment on the Discord. Yeah, I know, Crosshair. A Scott character got into trouble? I don't believe you for a second. What else do I have to say? I think that's about it, guys. Thanks so much for joining me today. We're looking forward to part 2 of truly what is going to become the longest night. And we'll see you next time